Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
A little quiet, but we'll make do.
Figure it out, don't worry. Can you hear me a little bit better?
Yeah.
Perfect. But yeah, I was saying, I have this thing called Reading AI and it records notes, but it makes you pay for the recording. So I'm just gonna record on my laptop and then I'll send it to you.
Ah, cool.
That way you have that. But cool. So how's everything going, man?
It's going. At
Day
work,
one.
everybody's understanding and supportive. My boss said that, you know, while I'm getting things going, they might be willing to throw some freelance work my way so I can keep getting some money in.
That's
And
cool.
he said if I run out of money, I can come back to my job.
Cool.
And I believe him because we have a lot of people on our staff that left to pursue their dream job, failed,
Hmm.
and came back. So I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Cool.
If the worst case scenario is I run out of money and then return to the status quo, I can live with that.
Yeah. At least you took a shot, right? Like at least you
Yeah.
tried. I was in a different situation because it was like I can't now go back there. So, but I'm glad because I didn't want to go back.
Hmm.
I felt sick every time I stepped in that place.
Is teaching.
Yeah, could not do it again. Okay, so let me open up just some notes. We can get started right away. Um, so basically what I did in terms of notes is I went through yours, just went through some of what we talked about before, and then I just put my notes like
Hmm.
together from that. Um, I will also send you this doc too, along with the recording, um, so that you have both in front of you um, after we talk here. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
thought that doc would help save some time.
yeah, no, it does. And then I also am able to go through everything that you're thinking and then put some structure to it as well, and then just help just with like what I was thinking as well.
Hmm.
So let me share my screen. My thoughts. All right, cool. You can see this, okay?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, I was going through your notes and I pretty much just went through it in order and then again put my thoughts together. So, um, in terms of niche, we had talked already a little bit about just like you're going to focus on the medium-sized companies who struggle with
Hmm.
tech, right? So that's kind of what we agreed on right before we set up the call. And so that's kind of what I think you should go with just because of I think that's the most clear that we've gotten. And you'll be able to actually build from that foundation. And I know that you didn't want to really focus on like just one specific industry, right? But I think that this is a great way to kind of cut through all the different industries because there are a lot of medium sized companies out there who are struggling with tech. There are a lot
Right.
of companies who don't even have tech, which is something that I wanted to also mention. Um, I went to get my wife flowers once and I went in and it was one person running the shop and she was like all over the place. Like this lady was struggling. And she talked about how I thought it was gonna be easier when I left my teaching job. She was also a teacher. She said, but I'm actually working a lot more now in this business. And she seemed so burnt out. And when I looked at it, all she has is a Facebook page for her business and then that's pretty much it. So she has like no type of automations, no type of systems, no type of any type of system to help her with the business.
Hmm.
And so I started thinking about all the local businesses who are not even aware of lead generation, for example, or any other systems that you've mentioned. So
Hmm.
a good strategy that I was thinking about was maybe you can just instead of like spending time cold calling on some days or cold emailing, maybe go out and talk to the businesses around you and see where they're at because you're going to find more often than not a lot of them don't have any of these systems put in place, especially
Hmm.
those businesses who are like small business, who are like flower shops and the other types of shops out there. Like don't go to McDonald's, for example, but all the other small businesses you'll see because I see it all the time. Like I have opened my eyes to that. And every time that I go to a different type of business, it's like almost all of them have nothing to really help them in terms of automations. And
Hmm.
who knows, maybe you can be one of those people that changes the game for them and shows them this how I can make you a lot more money and save you a lot more time.
Yeah, for sure. That's not a bad idea. It would be a different approach I'd have to figure out. I tried one day. I did this one day, and I know one day is not a lot. And it was back when I was going after specifically marketing agencies, which I
Okay.
think I forgot to note on this document because, yeah, I did try marketing agencies,
Mhm.
and that was especially I couldn't get them to even talk to me. But I live near a few because I live in the middle of Houston, so I mean, I live near all kinds of stuff.
Mhm.
And what I ran into was I would drive up to their building, I couldn't get in. I'm like, even this baby marketing agency that has 5 employees somehow is guarded by lock and key and has knights posted outside to prevent
Mhm.
entry. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, but I mean, I'm sure
There
there's places where I can walk in. I don't know how to walk into a business, walk up to a person that is probably not the business owner, and be
Mhm.
like, "Can you get the owner out here so I can try to sell them something?"
Yeah. That would be a little hard because I know that some people are just like I don't know, it's like stingy almost with like what they do. Like, oh, I'm a marketing agency, so therefore I know everything I'm doing. But the case is that most of the time they don't, you know.
Hmm.
But that just got me thinking. I do know a guy who has his own marketing agency, and he builds like all the funnels and automations himself. He's a really good guy. I'm gonna connect him with you,
Oh, cool.
see if anything can come out of. I don't know, can't promise anything, but he's one of
Hey,
those
it's a lead.
good guys that I know. He does everything on his own. He's really good at it. I think he's made quite a bit of money from it, but you know, who never knows? He might be able to like partner with you in some way so that it's like he's not doing everything, or maybe he can teach you everything he knows because he's really good at what he does. But I'm gonna just kind of take you through all my thoughts, and then you can stop me at any point, ask any questions, and we can keep digging in through that. So
Hmm.
the thing that's gonna help you pretty much start to make progress, it's pretty much become a master at the person that you're trying to serve or like that client identity. So you have to think of the person who is struggling with tech, right? Put yourself in their shoes. What are they thinking about? What do they need in these moments? What will make them feel at ease, right? So I've seen and met people who are valuable, but they're just like, I really don't want to deal with the tech and like it's just overwhelming to me. So you have to think about what's literally on their mind. Like, what are they thinking about when it comes to tech? Are they just completely like, I just don't want to deal with it? Or are they like, I'm going to do it because I have to, but I would like prefer not to do it, right? Because those are two different types of people.
Hmm.
Some thoughts that I was thinking of, and this is how my brain works, right? If they struggle with tech, your approach needs to be simple, right? Because in some way, your approach has to do with tech. It has to do
Hmm.
with, to them, will seem like something that's complicated and complex. So, you know, building an automation is not easy work, right? It's tedious. Even if it's easy, it's just like it takes some time. For
Right.
them, it's tedious and it's hard work. While we could do it, even though it takes us a bit of time and we know how to figure it out, for them it's like I have no idea how to even start, which is what most of them will think. So you have to think about, when I do offer something to them, am I being simple? Because the moment that you sound complicated, they're gonna kind of think, yeah, there's no way I'm gonna do this because it's not really helpful, right? So you want to make it seem like this is so simple. You can communicate it simply because then they see you as, oh, wait, they're going to actually save me all this stress and kind of release that. Um,
So
Go
how
ahead.
do I? Because there's also the wisdom that like you're supposed to make things sound somewhat advanced, so that you seem authoritative. I don't want to make it sound so simple that they're like, well, then I can just do it,
I
or
disagree
that
with,
they feel bad that they can't do it because it's so simple.
I actually disagree with that. Um, we've, we have been told to like be complex, But this is what happens when your vocabulary is a little bit more advanced. The barrier to entry becomes a little bit higher or a little bit
Hmm.
harder. So that means that only certain people will be able to actually understand what you're saying. But if you're very simple, everyone can understand it. Now, do you really think that these people are going to know to do exactly what you know how to do just because you spoke simply? Most likely not, right? If you look at everything that I talk about, I would say I speak very simply in all my
Hmm.
content. Very, very simply. Like there's no complex vocabulary. Like I learned this as a teacher, right? Like I need to be so simple. And even when I was simple, people still missed it. Kids still missed it.
Okay.
And so for you, I promise you, no one can do what you do. There are other people that can do automations and blah, 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 but there's not another Tyler Barrett, right? There's not another one of you. And
Okay.
so, even if you speak simply, what's going to actually happen is people will be able to understand you and they will see themselves more in what you do because it's
Okay.
like you're no longer out of reach, you're somebody that's there for them.
What the hell? I misunderstood. So you're saying speak in their language. When you first said simple, I thought you were saying like downplay the system I'm building as like the thing I build for them is simple. So there's a yeah,
No, so you don't have to downplay it, but you do need to communicate it in a way that's very simple,
right.
right? So whenever I get on a sales call, for example, it's not even really a sales call. I
Hmm.
just figure out what they need. We have a conversation, and then they usually ask me about my offer, and I literally walk them through my offer in 5 steps. Each step, I say like 2 sentences, maybe three.
Hmm.
I get done in like 2 to 3 minutes, and that's it. Super simple. And
Yeah.
every single time they're like, wow. Right. And it's like, and they've told me like this is so simple. And because it's simple, they're actually like, I need to do this because of the simplicity. So simple is actually way better in terms of lead generation and lead converting than anything else.
Hmm.
Um, and so just moving on, right? If they hate tools that they're using, so at the in your notes you had mentioned like they hate maybe like Google Workspace or Notion, and they might be using these but they hate it. Why do they hate them? Right? Like this is like stuff you have to know. So like they hate this because of this reason, because then you can kind of meet them there of like, okay, you're hating this because maybe it's just taking up all your time, right? And then
Hmm.
now you can speak to that because when you speak to them, it's like I know exactly what you're feeling instead of you just kind of like guessing about what they might be thinking about. If some other questions that I was asking myself is if they struggle with tech, for example, will they be on social media? Right? I don't know how every medium-sized company works, but I know that some of them, like some people are just not on social media for whatever reason, right?
Hmm.
Um, if they are on social media, will work like where are you going to find them? Will they be on Instagram? So if you're thinking about a medium-sized company, you also have to think about not even like the age group, but just like the type of person that owns a medium-sized company. They're usually not in their early 20s, even or like late 20s. They're usually like me to 30 up. Is kind of what I'm assuming. So,
Hmm.
are you gonna find them on Instagram? It's like one of the questions that I ask myself. Will they even be looking for help on social media? Right? And then if they are, again, where will you find them? My first thought was LinkedIn might be a good place for you to find medium-sized, business owners who are connecting with people in this professional space.
Hmm.
So the whole point of that is you have to be very clear on this person that you're serving, right? Or this client identity. So if it's a medium-sized company and they're struggling with tech, you have to understand the pain points there of like why are they struggling with tech? Is it because it's just too complicated? Is it because it takes up too much time? Is it because they've tried it and it's not working the way they intended? Is it because they don't even know the systems they need to have? Like what is the pain point there? Like why are they not really comfortable with tech? Because once you know that, you can now build the exact steps they need to take. So the system you build It needs to be a combination of these steps, right? So, for example, if it's lead generation, the first step they have to take is this, then this step, and then this step, and then this step, and then this step. Your goal, because you're automating it, it's how can I automate these combination of steps for them so that they don't have to do everything on their own,
Hmm.
right? So if my lead generation step was, okay, they're running an ad, for example, every time that someone comments, I have an automation that sends them a message. And the automated message, it gets their email and number. Then I have an email that's is sent to them right away to give them some value, and then maybe send them up for a call. These are all
Hmm.
the steps, right? Some people, some companies do all of that on their own. So then your system would be, I'm taking care of all of those steps for you so that you don't have to. And that's kind of how your offer needs to be structured. It's the exact steps that they have to take, but that you're taking for them. Does that make sense?
I get it in concept, but because like how do I present that? Because that can be different for every single client. So it's not like I can make a LinkedIn post that says that in a way that everybody resonates with.
Mm-hmm. So what I was going to recommend to you is to pick one system, right? So what I mean by that is what I was looking at when I was looking at your list, it seems like you're trying to do like too many different things off the bat. So like you said something about like all the problems that they were facing, right?
Hmm.
So lead generation, inbound, outbound, sales mechanisms, onboarding, fulfillment, reactivation. What I suggest is that you think about what is the one that they are struggling with the most, and then you stick to that until you get a few clients.
Hmm.
And I will also talk about what this looks like in terms of like your retention model that you mentioned earlier. But when you pick one system, you get to master that system. And then as you move forward and progress, then you can start to add the other systems to what you offer. Or,
Hmm.
for example, let's say I will help you bring in consistent leads. You can think of a number. After you show them the success, hey, you are getting more leads now, but would you like me to also automate your sales mechanism and build that for you? And then now you
Hmm.
have another offer for them, and it's a logical step up because they have the lead generation system now. They're seeing more people coming in, but what they're going to be wondering now, it's like, okay, I'm getting more people coming in, so how do I actually convert them now? Oh, well, I have a system for that as well that I can help you with to make that happen.
Hmm.
And so the point of that is when you master one, you literally become like almost like it's like a second hand to you, where it's not just like, oh, I'm struggling to do this. It's like you can do it in your sleep. So for me, messaging, I could do that pretty much any business I've talked to. I've been able to help people with their messaging. That's because that's literally my only focus. Now, I can help people build offers. I can help people with social media strategy. I can help people with putting the right content together. I can help people with sales calls, all those things. But when it comes to my marketing, I'm only helping people with message, right? And that's why I got so good at it. And now I'm actually able to expand. And I've had people tell me, like, my message is clear now, but then how do I actually convert them? Hey, I can help you with that. And then now I can keep working with those people instead of just like a one and done. So for
Hmm.
you, don't try to build all five of these systems or to fix all of these problems at once.
Hmm.
See it as like these are the steps you're taking, right? I put it at the bottom, it was like stack it, right? So get really good at one thing, help people with it. As you're seeing people get the results, then now you have another offer. Because if you work and you do your job with people, and then people like for me, like one of the reasons why I like talking to you is because I see that you're a good guy, right? Like I can just tell.
Well, thank you.
No, you're welcome. I have met a lot of guys online, and right away, I usually don't respond. Like you message me, I usually don't respond to those messages.
Hmm.
And I can just tell. When you message me, I looked at your page, and I can just, I just have like that type of intuition. So when people work with you and they get to interact with you, and then you also have the results, that in
Hmm.
combination is going to make them want to keep you around, because it's like, hey, like, he actually cares, he's actually good at what he does, and he's like a good person, right? So they're going to want to keep working with you. And so logically, once they get the results from the first thing, they're going to want to say, okay, how can I do the next thing, or how can you help me with this, right?
Right.
And so
And
then,
that,
go ahead.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and then that becomes a logical next step for them. It's like, hey, he did a great job with this, he can most likely help me with this thing too. And then now you
Right.
have an ongoing partnership.
And that is kind of the strategy I was sort of trying to get at is like I build the first thing for them and in their head it's a one-off kind of thing.
Hmm.
But ultimately at the end when I deliver it, there's an email where I go, "Hey, your thing is done. Here's all the documentation and all the pretty things I did for you and blah 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 blah." And at the bottom of that email, "Oh, and by the way, as I was getting deeper into your business, I noticed that you could also use help with insert thing here. Would you
Hmm.
be interested in talking about that?"
Yeah.
And then during that call, I can say, well, it would be this much to build this second thing. Or if you want to just keep this going, here's the retainer option, which will save
Hmm.
you money because it's cheaper.
Yeah. And that's a good model. And I did talk about that at the bottom too. So we'll definitely hit on that. But
Mhm.
that's how it needs to work. Don't say, I'm gonna help you with lead generation and sales systems and bomb burner and blah blah blah, because like,
Yeah.
because if they're
I put
struggling,
that list on there for your benefit to explain,
yeah,
like, and this is why I don't really care what industry they're in, because
yeah,
all industries have to fix these problems.
yeah, and because they're struggling with tech, they do have these problems, right? But because they're struggling with tech, it needs to be like so simple to them. Like, it needs to be like, I do need this, and it needs to seem like, hey, like, this system will help me with that. But it cannot be like just too, like, if it feels like too much to them,
Mhm.
they're gonna be overwhelmed and shut down, because they're already feeling the overwhelm from how much tech the tech is,
Well,
right?
and I guess the question though is, do they have to be struggling with tech as a whole? Like, obviously they don't. Like, my idea is that like they don't have it automated, obviously, because then they'd have no need to hire me. But like, they're not illiterate when it comes to tech. They know what Google Workspace is. They know what
Mm-hmm.
Airtable is. They have apps and they know how to use them.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to, at the very least, work with clients that have a basic enough understanding of technology that we can talk about it. Because like I'm not. Maybe I'm not supposed to say this, but like, okay, we'll use Adrian as a good example. I believe you've had tech calls with her in the past too. She's mentioned that you've had like tech calls with her or something.
Not tech calls, but we've had like a couple of calls, just to see if she was the right fit for my
Yeah,
profile. Hmm.
Adrian is a very difficult client to work with in this kind of work
Yeah.
because I mean there's just such a gap between where she is and like what I would consider tech literacy to the point where like I needed her to hold something up to the camera and
Hmm.
she missed the camera twice. Um,
Sweet lady.
She's so sweet. She's so
Yeah,
sweet. But we
but
have
yeah,
like we'll schedule a 45-minute call and 90 minutes into that call, we haven't accomplished anything and I kind of give up on and go, "All
yeah,
right, we'll figure it out next time because I have to
yeah.
go do something else."
No, I have this client, who I'm helping her with her messaging, but she's even worse than Adrienne. Like, she, like, absolutely no idea about tech or on our social media or anything online whatsoever. And it's a constant, just like, this is not what I'm working you with. I'll answer this
Mhm.
question right now, but we're moving on from this. So I get it, right? And so in terms of that, if they are using Google Workspace and all these things, in some way they're still struggling with tech, because why don't they have it automated?
Right.
Right.
I just want to make sure like in the messaging we strike the balance of like they are comfortable with the apps individually.
Yeah.
They're just
But
not aware that they can be spider web together in the way.
hmm, yeah, and I'm glad that you're messaging that, or you're mentioning that, because in your messaging you can literally say what you just said. Like,
Hmm.
hey, I know that you guys are using all these apps and they might be doing well for you, but what would it do for your business if they all worked together automatically? Something like that, right? Because then
Yeah.
they're actually getting them to think of like, hey, that makes sense. Because for me, I've thought about that. Like, I want some of these things to work completely without me. All of,
Hmm.
and I have literally looked like, how can I connect this app to this app to this app so that it just does it for me? I've thought of that. So there are people out there who are having the exact thoughts that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
So definitely that is something that you definitely want to go with and write that down so that you don't forget. Um, One of the other things that I added on here was just like think about you. Um, think about what feels aligned to you. So as you're picking, like the offer, the system, don't just pick one for the sake of picking one. Don't just pick one because it's like I'm gonna make money with this or this is gonna make me a lot of money. Pick something that feels aligned to you because you want to feel energized in these
Hmm.
conversations. So, for example, if you were getting people that were just like Adrienne, she's a sweet lady. You don't hate her, but working with her can drain you because it's just like there's a huge gap there.
Hmm.
You don't want to keep working with people like that. Like, even if someone said, I will pay you this much money to do this with me, I also would say, don't say yes to that because then you're going to be struggling the whole entire time.
Right.
Right. And so pick what actually aligns with you and then stick to that. It's hard sometimes because it's like, but I want the money, but it's actually going to take away more from you than you're getting paid for.
For sure.
And then one of the things that I thought about was like, is there an automation you built before that just blew you away or like excited you? Like, I don't know if you can remember, like, what was your favorite automation that you've ever built?
My favorite, and I don't know if it's my favorite because it was my first elaborate one or if I just really like what it does, but back in when I was a coach for a brief period of time, I did build an onboarding system where
Okay.
like I use Notion as a CRM. I had a baked
Okay.
in form in Notion where I would type in their name, email address, and what program they were in, hit
Mm-hmm.
enter. Their client portal was generated, contracts sent out, invoice, the whole
Wow.
nine. And I love that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I really enjoyed that. I don't know. I thought it was fun to type in a dummy name and hit enter and just watch stuff populate.
Yeah. That sounds really cool to me. Like, I would
Hmm.
love something like that, right? So I know that if someone were to hear about this, what do you think they're going to say? Like, damn, this is cool. And I don't
Hmm.
have to do anything except type in their name and their information, right? And so maybe that's what you start with,
Hmm.
right? It's like you frame it in a way where it's like, hey, your onboarding system can be the difference between you keeping clients in the long run or you getting ghosted by them. Because there are some companies who get a client, but then they get ghosted. And so
Hmm.
this onboarding system could be something that people would love. Like, I heard that when you said that, like you typed it into Notion and everything populated for them. I was like, wait, that sounds cool. Because that's something that I've tried to build for myself. Like, I have my own onboarding system and everything, but it doesn't sound as cool as that.
Well, Braylon, if you would like it, I'm currently taking.
Honestly, like that sounds really cool. So the whole point of that is, let's say that, for example, would an onboarding system, how will that help me make more money? Could you tell me if you have thought about that?
I mean, while it doesn't directly make money in the sense that it's not going to get you a client, it helps you retain a client because
Mhm.
it is it's very professional looking to get off of your sales call with a client and say, within the next 5 minutes, you're going to get blah, 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 blah. And within 5 minutes, they get blah, 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 blah.
Mhm.
And it saves you time. So instead of sitting there, imagine these two scenarios that without this system you probably have now. Either A, you get off your sales call, you got your new client, and you spend the next hour doing all these things.
Mhm.
An hour you don't want to spend right now because you could be on a second sales call.
Mhm.
Or B, the worst scenario you've probably had, you finish your sales call, you got your client, and now you have two more sales calls. So by the time you actually onboard this new client, several hours have passed, you've forgotten information,
Mhm.
and things fall through the cracks. Much, much harder than click button, done, on to the next client.
Mhm. And you said it doesn't like directly make me money, but the way that I think about it is if I'm worth, for example, let's just say $1,000 per hour,
Hmm.
and you're able to save me 3 hours of putting all this onboarding stuff together, you just saved me $3,000.
Right.
You just saved me, So I honestly think that that would be very cool.
Hmm.
And that's the most excited I've seen you talk about something. Um, and I do think that an onboarding system is actually something that a lot of people lack. And exactly what you explained is something that I have literally gone through before, where I got off the call. Okay, now I got to put this email together. I have to send in this email, and then I have to do this and this and this. And it literally took me like an hour or two to do all of it, right? I was smart though that the first time that it happened, I automated it right away as I did it so that it wasn't like me starting from scratch. But
Hmm.
I also have seen how, again, there are different things that I have built where it's like, this is taking me too much of my time. And I
Yeah.
have gotten to a place where it's like, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to build this thing out. So the reason that I asked, like, is there something that blew you away and excited you? If you can bring that level of excitement into what you do, that is going to bring you more clients than anything,
Hmm.
because everything that you just explained to me, that was the clearest and most confident you've sounded about
Hmm.
anything that we've talked about, right? That's good energy that you want to have. So I honestly would recommend, what would it look like for you to start with that onboarding system, right? What would it look like? And then commit to that, like actually commit to it. Like, let's say I'm going to do this for 6 months, only onboarding and trying to get people for onboarding for 6 whole months, and that's it. What you're gonna see is as those months go by, you're gonna you're gonna see what doesn't work. You're gonna see how to communicate it in a way that people actually want it. Like for example, if you already communicated it to me in a way that I was like, hey, like that's exactly right, right? Now let's say I was a person like a different person and I'm like, that's right, that's exactly right. You now have a great shot of selling me because I'm just like, you're right, like this makes so much sense, like this is what I'm experiencing. So I'm going to suggest commit to that for 6 months and see where that takes you. um when you position yourself, you are not the solution, and that's something that I love to tell people is that I'm not the hero. I'm not the solution. Like, I'm just a guide. Like, I'm just here to walk with you on the journey and to help you go to where you need to go. But it's not like I'm solving your problems for you. I'm just helping you get there and I'm walking with you on the way. And so for you, that's how it needs to be positioned. So when you're posting on social media, when you're having conversations, it's not like I'm your solution. It's here's how I can help you get there. Here's how
Hmm.
we can work together to get to this place. Because when you do that, it has a different effect on people to where it's like, hey, like he's actually going to be on this journey with me. And then two, it allows you to show up differently because it's like, how can I actually help these people? How can I take them to this outcome that they want? Right? Because then
Yeah.
you're more focused on helping them instead of helping yourself.
Yeah, one thing I'm trying to do, especially in my retainer model, like when I
Mm-hmm.
try to go for that pitch, is like I really try to have the frame of I am not an employee that goes and builds something for you. I am a strategist. I'm a consultant. I'm part of your team, which
Mm-hmm.
is why if you looked at my retainer, there's like a 45-minute strategy call in there. The
Mm-hmm.
entire purpose of that call, other than to make sure that they actually communicate with me on a monthly basis and don't forget that they're paying me, is to frame it as my job is not to build things. My job is to help you figure out what needs built.
Mm. I like that.
The fact that I then go and build it is a bonus, but I'm more interested in you tell me what's going on and I will figure out in the realm of automation what can be done.
Yeah. And that's powerful because it's like, um, I had just posted about something similar where it's like, what would you have, like, or pick two of what you would rather have? And it was like the mentor, all your resources paid for. And on there, I put like a team of experts, like for all the
Mhm.
tech and stuff and automations for a full, I think for life or whatever. You know
Mhm.
how cool that would be to just like having someone with me that's like, hey, you could build this. You
Yeah.
could build this automation. Hey, this would be really cool here. Here's how to build it. I'm going to build it for you. Like that would actually be very powerful for people. So you have a lot more value than you think you do, is what I'm saying. And as you commit to this for those 6 months, you're going to start seeing that. People are going to start
Mhm.
seeing that. But you have to commit to it long enough for people to actually see that signal. Um, but earlier or in the thing you said like every business has a problem or has the same problems, right? So
Mhm.
I already mentioned this, but pick one major problem. And I think I already said like onboarding, like
Onboarding.
yeah, go with that. Um and then
So I know I, sorry, can I interrupt for a second?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so for the sake of marketing, onboarding is my big, this is what I'm telling everybody I do. However, within that 6 months, let's say tomorrow, just for easy numbers, somebody hires me to build an onboarding system for them, and I
Mm-hmm.
build it, and next week it's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
I can still then turn around and offer one of these other things for the sake of getting my retainer
A
for
hundred
that
percent.
person.
100%.
And we're just sticking to onboarding as my marketing engine,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or
And
lead magnet, if you will.
exactly. And if somebody within the next week were to say like were to do it and then you're just like, hey, you have the onboarding, but now hey, now let's start getting your lead generation and people coming in more consistently. Now it's forcing you to actually build the system that they need.
Yeah.
Because as you work with them and you're building their onboarding and you're getting to know more about this mid-sized business, you're getting to know really clearly what they're struggling with. So
Hmm.
then now you start to build a system that is aligned with these type of people. So it's not just like you're building a product that has nothing to do with them, but it's like now you have a template that you can follow moving forward,
Right. And
right?
that's been my big thing is like Hormozy's like, well, the best way to make a very good offer is to talk to your customers and figure out what they actually want. I'm like, well, that does make a lot of sense, but I don't have any customers.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, the fastest way that I saw, I literally just like I picked messaging, but then on the different communities I was in, I just started paying attention to what people were saying. Like, because people post a lot,
But
right?
okay, you're gonna sit here and say, Tyler, you're being stupid or whatever. But I say, all right, great. I'm gonna go on social media and just read what people write, and I'm gonna reach out to people on social media, and I join coaching groups, real estate groups,
Mhm.
whatever. Nobody in these groups is actually a real estate agent or a coach. It's people trying to sell to real estate agents and
Yeah.
coaches. The first person I messaged on Facebook, I sold the AI or I pitched the AI work to him. He goes, "Actually, I'm an AI automation agency trying to sell to coaches, but I won't tell on you if you don't tell on me." I'm like, "Well, that's embarrassing. I
Yeah.
can't find the actual people."
Honestly, it's so I'm in two communities right now. One of them is the mastermind community, and that one is a full CRM, full system by Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins. In that community, there are like 300,000 people, and
Mhm.
they're all new coaches or coaches that have been in the game for a few years or coaches that have been in the game for a long time. And then they also have another community called Success Club. In
Mhm.
that community, there are like 700,000 people, all who signed up for the community because of one of their events. All business owners, all coaches in different stages.
Mhm.
And so in that community, I'm constantly just like watching and I'm just like seeing people constantly like, how do you guys get clients? How do you guys get lead generation? I feel like I'm posting all the time, but people are not reaching out. And I'm literally just like, I can help this person. I can help this person. I can help that person. And so there are strategic ways to find those communities. If I see one where these people are in, I'm just going to start adding you to those communities too.
Mhm.
Mastermind, you have to have the program to be in that one, but the Success Club, you don't have to be in anything. So I'm going to add you to that one already just
Ah,
to
cool.
see if that can, can
Mhm.
help. So let me actually write that down so I don't forget.
Yes, constant reset indeed. Tyler has shiny object syndrome.
Now, but we'll talk about that in a second. Just because I was there, so I'm gonna tell you about my story, and then just like how you can definitely like get out of that, so that
As
you
I
can.
was writing it down in the notes, I'm like, maybe this is my problem.
It's funny because even though you've mentioned all these things, I have still switched more times than you have. So that's why I'm saying like I get it and I'm very similar. But we're gonna definitely fix that because like I already said, dude, you have more value than you think you do. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm excited to like get this going for you because you'll see it like when people start to like reach out and say like this is what I need, you're gonna be like, there it is. Like that's what I've been, waiting for someone to say to me.
I knew it.
I knew it. I knew what I was doing. And so know the exact problem. So you're gonna help them with onboarding. That's like more of like a category. But what is the problem they are facing? Right? So in terms of onboarding, are they just like spending too much time onboarding new clients? Are they like letting some of them fall through the cracks because it's just too much? Are
Mhm.
they having to like automatically create the invoice or manually create the invoices? Like, what is the actual struggles they are having so that when you communicate, you can speak to that, right?
Mhm.
So, like, if I was a person that was struggling with onboarding, you can literally tell me what I'm struggling with because you know me so well. You already
Mhm.
know the problems, and you're kind of like nudging me as we're talking. And as you're doing that, you're able to see like, oh, he's struggling with this, he's struggling with this, and then you're able to speak to those things.
Mhm.
Um, and so now let's get into the actual model. I
Is
talked
this
about
the what to do step?
this is like some of the what to do's. Yeah. So in the stack approach that I mentioned, master one thing. Start to get a client or start to get clients, then assess what's best as the next step, right, for them, and then develop that next step. So let's say you get a company right now and you're doing the onboarding for them. And as you're doing the onboarding, you're realizing like, hey, they need more help with X, Y, and Z. Start to think about what that step might look like for them. Make that
Mhm.
a template because then now you're using this person or this group as a way to also inform what you're going to do for everyone else. So
Mhm.
start to templatize or
Templatize.
templatize what you do for them because then now as you're working with them, now you can even like just have the bones. You don't even have to build the whole system yet. You can just have like the bones of what you could do for them so that when you send them the docs and everything in that email, it's like, hey, by the way, I also have, I noticed in my time working with you that you can also you also need some help with this. Here are the steps of how I can help you. Let me know if you're interested in something like that,
Mhm.
right? And most of the time, because you've helped them so well, and then the steps are like very aligned to what they actually need, they're gonna say, "Oh, hell yeah, let's talk about it." And then you
Right.
at least have a chance to have a conversation with them about it.
Mhm.
Your offer is the next step. So that's like one of the biggest things that I want you to remember because you didn't really have an offer, is what you were saying. All your offer is the next logical step they can take. So, for example, you have a call with someone, and in the call, right away, you noticed like they're spending an hour and a half after each sales call onboarding someone and building the invoices manually and then sending the emails and blah, 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 blah. You're already thinking the next logical step they can take is to sign up for this onboarding thing. Like, this is
Mhm.
what they need. Then, as you're working with them, you're seeing that they're getting leads coming in and it's a lot of them, but then their conversion rate is like very low. So then
Mhm.
you can think, hey, the next logical thing that I can help them with is either refine their lead generation system so they're better qualified, or two, help them with their system, like their sales system. And so
Mhm.
then when you offer them your offer, it's like the next logical step because then it's like they're not thinking about something that's so far out of reach. It's like, this is the next immediate thing that I need right now. And it makes
Mhm.
them more likely to take it because it's like, you're literally speaking to what I need in this moment. Does that make sense?
Mhm. It makes sense. What I am, so we're saying that, okay, I listen to them talk on the sales call and they say I'm struggling with onboarding, so I offer the onboarding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I already offered the onboarding, right? That's what got them on a call with
Yeah.
me in the first place.
Yes, but there are different problems in terms of onboarding,
Hmm.
right? So let's say their major problem right now is, well, I spent about an hour after a sales call just to onboard each person. Now
Hmm.
you know that what they really, really are needing is that. So you're offering this onboarding thing as like, this is going to help you take a step past that. Like, I'm going to help you fix that. And you're speaking to their pain point, and then you can talk about everything else. But it needs to seem like, well, if you're struggling with this, the next thing that you need to do is build this onboarding system, right?
Hmm.
Even though they signed up on the call to get onboarding, it still needs to be offered in a way to where it's the next logical step.
Okay.
Because just because they get on a sales call doesn't mean they're going to get the product. But
Hmm.
if it's offered in a way that's like, this is like the next step that you should take, it makes them more likely to say yes to you when you do bring up the offer, right?
Okay.
So for example, I had a call with this lady who, she saw my post, she messaged me, she said, hey, like, I want to get on a call just so I can, hear more about what you do. In the conversation, she was telling me about how I post all the time, but no one comments, no one says anything to me, no one even reaches out. And so I knew in my program, a big part of my program is, well, I teach people how to speak directly to their clients in a way that actually resonates. So the first thing I said after that was like, hey, like, actually, like, that's a big part of my program is like, I teach you how to speak to those clients in a way to where they're just like, this is exactly what I needed to hear. And it makes it more likely for them to engage with you. And
Hmm.
so then my offer was the next logical thing that they needed, because it's like a direct solve to their problems, a direct solution to their problem. Does that make sense?
Right.
Yeah. Um, and so your offer needs to be that. Like, it needs to feel like, this is the next thing that I need to do, because it's going to
So
actually help me take a step forward.
in marketing, I just talk about how onboarding's a bitch, and that makes them call me. And then
It needs to
on the
be,
call, I go, well, for you specifically, in order to solve this onboarding thing, we have to do blank.
yeah. But in your marketing, it's not just marketing sucks or onboarding sucks for you. It's marketing sucks for you because of these reasons that I know you're feeling,
Hmm.
right? Because you know them so well. So whenever you mention like why it sucks, it needs to be for the reasons that they are thinking about, right? Which
Hmm.
you will have been figuring out beforehand.
Hmm.
And you already mentioned some of them for me. So just start with those, like, speak to those, because I promise you there are going to be people who read that and they're just like, yup, that's me,
Yeah.
right?
And I'll
Um,
get better at it the more I talk to my customers.
yeah, yeah. Um, and the more you show up, you'll get better at it. Even if you're not talking to anyone, just the continuous approach will eventually make you better too. Um, And then just under that, I said, if they are just worried about one major thing, meet them there instead of pitching something that seems overwhelming. So that's kind of what I just said. Like, if they're really struggling with this one major thing, focus on that thing. Make it
Hmm.
seem like you are guiding them away from that major thing, because that's all they care about in the moment.
Hmm.
So now for your retainer model, um, you said there's a lead magnet, a project, and a retainer. In the lead magnet, it needs to be a clear step forward. So your lead magnet should take them one step forward away from where they are. So it can be an audit where you show them which of their daily systems or tasks can be automated. Right. So
Hmm.
all this stuff was before we decided on onboarding. So it might seem a little bit general, but just kind of think from the onboarding perspective of like, can you show them, how onboarding could help them, a lot better? Or think about the specific onboarding steps that people take.
Hmm.
Show them how, if they automated some of the ones that they have, how that can help them.
So this would be like the lead magnet. The thing I give away for free is like DM me audit and and for 15 minutes show me how you book a client or how you onboard a new client and then I will tell you, okay, well, based on what I saw, we can go here, do this, do that, connect
Hmm.
that dot to this dot in
Exactly.
real time.
Exactly. And you
Yeah.
can also have like a general steps,
Hmm.
but if they get on a call with you, you can give them more personalized help, right?
Hmm.
It could be a call like this. It doesn't have to be as long, but it can be like, here's like how this being automated and this being automated and this being automated can actually give you these results. And you're showing
Hmm.
them in their business specifically what they could be doing, a little bit better in.
Hmm.
You can also just do like an audit and show them like, here's what's wasting your time or wasting your money. You can give them guides like, show them how an automated system would fix all their headaches and actually lay that out for them so they can see it. Show them how complicated systems are hurting their business. So if their boss is actually like doing all the onboarding and it's taking them an hour to onboard every person, that's actually hurting the business because it's taking up too much of the time that he could be or she could be spending on other
Hmm.
things like a sales call, for example. Um, but the point in your lead magnet, it needs to be so much value to them that working with you would be like a very dumb idea. So the lead magnet should be like an actual step forward for them. If you are
Hmm.
able to show them in this lead magnet, this is how you're wasting all your time, and they're able to like see it in their own business and say, you know what, like this guy is right, that makes them way more likely to actually book a call with you. And in the lead magnet, you can include a link to sign up with you or a QR code, or in the video or in the call, you can also let them know like, hey, here's how I can help you moving forward. Right? You can
Hmm.
have that as a part of that lead magnet so that people can, one, get all the help, and then also just like, get on a call with you, and then it's like, wait, I think that it was actually be beneficial. So something that I did um a while ago, I used to do these workshops, and it was a
Hmm.
magnetic messaging workshop, and I had people come in. I talked about how to get clear on a message. I answered their questions. It was an hour long. It didn't have to be that long, but I just like serving people. So I did 45 minutes of talking and answering questions, and then I just did pure Q&A for their businesses after. After that, there were some people that were just like, how do I work with you? Because I was able to give them all of this value.
Right.
So just think about how you show up the best. If it's in a
Yeah.
call like this, if it's like in a workshop style, think of that as you build your lead magnets, because you want to be able to show up fully as yourself with your excitement and your personality so that people are actually able to see that and then, sign up to book a call with you.
Yeah,
Um,
I think for me, you can tell me what you think, and if we're running out of time, let me know. But I'm thinking as a lead magnet, like a 15-minute audit, right? Where like you show me your process and I
mhm.
like in person, I'm gonna give you my thoughts, but also I'm gonna frame it as I'm going to write up a full report on how you can go fix this yourself because the idea of the lead magnet is free. Like I don't want it to literally become a sales call.
Mhm.
But inevitably, what's going to happen is I'm going to write up this amazing solution for you. You're not going to want to go do it yourself, and then you're going
Mhm.
to pay me to do it. But
Yeah.
technically, I did give you the thing for free.
Yeah, no, and that's what's gonna happen. Like there will be some people who will take the lead magnet and then not say anything. Like they will try to implement it themselves.
Hmm.
Some will be successful. Some will not be able to do it without you, so they're gonna reach out. But even
Yeah.
the ones that are successful, they'll remember, like, dang, Tyler really helped me with this guide, right?
Hmm.
And if you can also do something like, if this was really helpful, like let me know or send me a testimony or whatever, so that
Hmm.
every single person in some way helps you because they're either sending you a testimonial or they are signing up for the next step with you.
Yeah. And it's easy enough to deliver because I already do this with my SOPs. I can literally record this audit. I have a chat GPT prompt that says turn this transcript into an SOP. Bam, I
Exactly.
don't actually have to type anything up here.
Exactly. And this is like, you're already thinking of the systems that are going to help you out, and that's how it needs to be, right? Because you can definitely show up exactly how you want to. Use
Hmm.
ChatGPT to transcribe it. You also have content from that now. Like, let's say in the
Oh, yeah.
call, they are telling you like, oh yeah, this is like what I struggle with and blah blah blah, more than likely you're gonna have the expertise to like help them with that. So
Hmm.
you take the transcript, hey ChatGPT, based on this call and everything that I said to help them, can you help me put together some pieces of content?
Hmm.
Then it's gonna help you put pieces of content that you can actually put out because this is actually what you said that helps someone, and that's
Yeah.
gonna be valuable as well. After the lead magnet, you solve their biggest problem, right? So if it's, of course, it's going to be on onboarding. Again, I put this together before that.
Right.
So in terms of onboarding, highlight how you solved their biggest problem. Even though you're doing the full onboarding system, as you are solving their biggest problem, so let's say it's you're spending so much time onboarding people, highlight that as you're doing it. Hey, like here's what I'm doing, here's how it's going to work for you so far. And then once you get it done, hey, like let's pay attention to this and how it works. Is it saving you time? And you're literally just like highlighting the fact that you're solving their biggest problem for them, because
Hmm.
then now it's like you're reminding them like this was a really good investment for you,
Yeah.
because as you solve their biggest problem, now it is a lot easier for you to move into the next step of the retainer. um and the retainer, this is after the success, after they can see that you actually delivered, then you offer the retainer. And this is what you
Yeah.
already mentioned, like in that email.
Yeah.
Hey,
I offer this on delivery is what I
yeah,
do.
yeah, yeah. And my first immediate thought was think of like 6 month or yearly price, and then just break that down into monthly payments if they need it. Your
Hmm.
goal would be, can I get it paid in full? Right? Because if they pay you in full ahead of time for a certain amount of time, that's like the best case scenario.
So
Um,
what I should do then, let's just say it's $2,000 a month, right? So what I should do is say the retainer is 1 year, it's $2,400 or $24,000. Say nothing, and then
mhm.
if they flinch at the price and they need help, then be like, we can break it into monthly payments.
Yeah. What I suggest is always remember, if they are a medium-sized company, their budget is limited in a different way than a bigger company. So you also have to think about, how do I structure my retainer to where it's beneficial for me, but then it's also doable for them, right? If I'm a medium-sized company and I'm thinking $24,000, I'm automatically going to be like, oof, right? But you have to think about, is this something that is doable? Let's say that they're paying you 2K for a one-time system, right? Would you be able to get away with maybe doing like 1,500 if they're committing in
And that
full,
I made that
right?
number up for
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
math, but that's
yeah.
the idea is like I will be able to show in the pitch, like, to build a one-off project, it breaks down to X number of dollars an hour. You're paying me this much for this much work. With the retainer, though, you get a big discount really because I'm
Mhm.
still doing the same amount of work, but because you went ahead and did the retainer, I'm lowering my rate.
Yeah.
And in addition, you also get the strategy call, the Slack access, whatever else I put on that bullet list.
Mhm.
You get all these extra goodies.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you do it?
And there are so many ways you can structure this stuff. Like, let's say they paid you 2K for that onboarding system. You can even frame it in a way to where it's like, look, if you sign up with me for 6 months, I will credit the 2K you already paid me into that. So
Mhm.
now it seems like, oh, I'm saving this and I'm saving more money, right?
That's
But
good.
you
And
want,
oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, what you want is the full price is discounted because it's like they're paying in full, and then
Mhm.
add like a 5-10% charge to the monthly payments so that
Yeah.
it incentivizes them to pay in full, essentially.
And so that's actually what I did with Wendy. I told Wendy, now I made a really, really basic price for 20 for the rest of the year because she'd be the first client and all that. But I told her I'm like for the rest of 2025, it would be 250 a month. But if you paid just for the rest of 2025, which is like 4.5 months at the time of this conversation, it came out to like 800 and something dollars because I made it
Oh,
200 a month.
yeah, yeah.
And what I was trying to offer for other clients where I never got this to this meeting, but the plan was to pitch it and say it's this much a month, but if you pay for the full year, I'm gonna knock 2 months off.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's gonna help a lot of people. And then
Mhm.
two, like that monthly like upcharge does convince some people to pay in full because they don't want to eventually pay more. I actually had a client, um, she said, "Yeah, let me know about payment plans." I sent her the
Mhm.
payment plan, and on there I put there's a 10% charge for monthly payments. She literally responded. She was like, "Oh no, like I see that there's a charge um added to every month, so I'd rather just pay in full." And she paid in full. Literally
That's
just because
yeah.
she didn't want to pay an extra. It was literally only an extra, like at the time it was like an extra 100 to $150, like nothing big, but she was
Yeah.
just like, I'd rather just not pay it.
Well, that's
So
what happened with Wendy. She picked the pay in full option.
mhm.
But I do think psychology wise, maybe you disagree. Like you're saying, frame it as an upcharge for monthly payment. I think it might be better psychology wise to frame it as a discount to pay in full. For you and me,
Exactly.
it's the same amount of money. We're
Yeah,
charging
yeah.
two options here. But I think psychologically, people like hearing that they're getting a discount.
And that's how I frame it too.
Yeah.
I tell them like this how much it is if you pay in full. And then I also one of the things that I do to help people is I have an action taker discount. I give them $500 off just for booking
Mm-hmm.
within 3 days. And I
Mm-hmm.
tell them, if you book within 3 days, I'll give you $500 off. And it doesn't
Love it.
hurt. It doesn't hurt me because it's like it's still high ticket, but people like that because it's like I'm saving so much money.
And
And then I still have an upcharge, or not like I still have like the 10% added even to the, like if they split that payment up, they still have that added to it. So it's like it's still, benefits them, but it also helps me out as well too.
you can even do stuff like, you know what? It's the 15th, right? And payments are on the 1st.
Hmm.
It's a high enough ticket item. I'm gonna be like, just forget the rest of this month. We'll start today, but I'm not gonna start charging you until next month. There's no prorate. Congratulations, this month is free.
Yeah, or you
Because I don't even care enough to do the math.
literally, like you can literally just frame it in a way it's like, look, pay me a commitment fee. I would do that. Like don't just say um you won't have to pay for the rest of the month, because some people will take you up on that and then stop when it's time to pay. So just
Well,
do
what I
like
would do
a
is like we're saying have them pay for the year, right? I'd say like, okay, I will charge you today is August 29th. I will charge you from September 1st to September 1st. I'm gonna send that invoice now.
mhm.
But if you sign it today, I will start working today, August 29th, and congratulations, you got 2 free days.
Okay, yeah. I like that. So you just make them pay upfront as soon as possible, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the things that I also noticed is that you said like if something breaks, um, it needs to be messaged in a way to where you're confident that nothing's gonna break. So just frame it in a way to where it's like, in the retainer, you're saying, I'm here to optimize the
Mhm.
systems, or I'm here to, like you said earlier, like I'm here to strategize with you and to make sure that everything that needs to be automated, it's being automated and it's working in your favor.
Yeah, and the way
Um,
I word it with actual clients is A, things will break in the sense that, I'm connecting a bunch of platforms. What happens if tomorrow Google changes everything about their code? Well, I have to
mhm,
go in and fix that now. There's nothing I can do today about what
yeah,
Google's going to do tomorrow. Or what happens if, you use Notion and Notion goes out of business tomorrow?
yeah,
What happens if we have your email sending something to your COO and tomorrow your COO resigns?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
an evolving system. Like
And then
things in business change.
yeah. And then you're here to kind of take the brunt of those changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that that's a great communication as well. Um, Something also that I noticed when you listed out your retainer in your notes, it was focused more on the features. Like you have this call and then this and this and this. Focus more on the benefits that they get from it. So
Mhm.
instead of just like, oh, we're gonna do a 45-minute call, what is the benefit of that? Right? For example, I'm going to meet with you once a month so that I can blank, and you're helping them like see like it's not just a call, it's a call that is going to give me this type of result every time so that it's actually
Hmm.
beneficial to me.
Makes
Um,
sense.
so when I read a list of like what the program entails, it should be here are all the benefits that I'm getting. Like here's like the results that I'm getting from each thing instead of just like I'm doing a call and then this and this and this and this. It's this is what I get from everything.
Hmm.
Um and then in terms of your statement, it needs to be very clearly laid out. So you said like I do like I automate admin stuff. It needs to be very clearly communicated what it is that you're going to do from them for them.
Onboarding,
So
right?
yeah, so for example, I fix it can be onboarding headaches that waste your team's time and cost you money by automating systems you already use, right?
Hmm.
Something like that, or by automating um, your daily tasks, onboarding task. Or something like that, right? But it needs to be very clear so that people can read it and say, this is exactly what I need because this is what I'm looking for. Um, if you don't have this specific statement out, it can confuse people. The
Hmm.
reason that I start with this message is because if someone asks you what you do, it needs to be very clear right away what you do and you need to be able to say it. So when someone says, Braylon, like, what do you do? Well, I help coaches identify their core message so they can attract their line clients.
Hmm.
Short and sweet, and that's it. And
I need an
so,
elevator pitch. Yeah.
yeah, and it needs to be not just elevator pitch, it's you're speaking to that like that specific moment, like that
Hmm.
specific person because even if you're not speaking to your ideal client, it's still so clear that it resonates even with people that might not be in your niche or they might think I know the exact person that might need this,
Hmm.
right? And so that just needs to be clear. So now, in terms of the trends, I did put on here that just as I was reading your notes, it seems like it was like you're switching every time something doesn't work, or you're resetting, and then you said like the zero feedback loop. That's because of the constant switching. So I don't know if I told you, it took me a full year before I got my first client, right? But that
Hmm.
was it wasn't because of like the value, it wasn't because I didn't know what I was doing, it was because I kept switching.
Hmm.
I kept switching my message. I kept switching niches. I was not clear on one message, so I was never resonating with the one person that I was meant to serve. And so you I don't know if you've ever heard like the vote kind of analogy, right? Every step you take in your niche is a vote.
Hmm.
Every time that you switch niches or you speak to a specific audience, you're adding a vote. If you keep switching, if you keep picking on different people, you're spreading all your votes out. And let's say a month goes by, 6 months go by, you're going to have votes in the different buckets, but not one of those buckets is going to stand out. But
Right.
if you put all of those votes, all of that effort into one thing, in those 6 months, that one thing is going to have exponentially more amount of votes because you're stacking as you go. And there's a
Hmm.
compounding effect to that. So what I wanted to say is you are planting roots with everything that you're doing. So the reason that I'm telling you commit to onboarding starting out is you want to have your roots so deeply ingrained that no matter what, you can always help someone with that. You can do it in your sleep. You can find all the different strategies for anyone based on that. And then it opens your eyes a little bit differently. So let's say that you go into a business in person and you know your stuff, it's very easy to ask the right questions and to qualify people and to see what they're struggling with and then offer them the solution that they need. So
Hmm.
earlier we talked about lead magnets. If you're meeting someone in person and you're seeing like, hey, like this person is struggling, hey, if you're interested, I can send you like a quick audit. Just let me know what you're currently doing for onboarding and I'll send you a quick audit. And then you can get their
Hmm.
contact information. I've done that. That flower lady, I literally told her, I was like, here, I have some free resources for you that will help. And I sent them to her. And now she's like, thank you so much. And she's even like giving me free flowers for my wife because of the help that I
Aw.
gave her, right? Super cool. And I literally told her, like, I don't want anything in return. I just really want to help you. And I never sold her anything, never even asked for anything. I really just went out to help her. But I'm thinking, like, let's say I did want to sell people, I can just go and say, hey, I can do a quick audit of your current strategy to get leads. I
Hmm.
can, like, see if your messaging is intact. And then I can show them, like, well, it's not. And here's what I can do to help that. You can do the same thing. Find
Hmm.
those people in person because more likely than not, they don't really know anything about automations or anything like that. So,
Hmm.
how would you adding an onboarding system, for example, to a local business, how would like will that help them? Like, there's a
And in person, it's tough because I have to find the right places. Like, I can't go into a coffee shop and pitch this because coffee shops don't onboard people.
yeah, and that's why it allows you to be creative because let's say you're the onboarding guy, it does change your mind a lot. Like you learn to like find solutions for anyone. Um, like for example, there's this local coffee shop here that I see and I see their post on Facebook and I'm just like, I could really help this business. And I could, if I really wanted to, I could put together some lead generation systems in place for them,
Hmm.
right? But it's just a matter of you knowing your stuff enough to where it's like, how can I help this person? Because you never know. There might be a coffee shop that might need onboarding in some type of way, whether it's signing them up for
Employees
their emailing list, right? Or whatever it was. What'd you say?
got to onboard the employees.
Onboard the employees, or it could be like, for example, even my apartment complex. Like how would it help for her to have some type of onboarding system to where when people like live here, they get an email, they have access to like an onboarding portal, they have access to like a community chat or whatever. Like none of that is intact here, right?
Hmm.
So, but now because I'm thinking differently, I'm able to see all the ways that I can help, even businesses that are like I never thought I could help before. And then I already told you, like, I honestly do think that like you have a lot more value than you think you do, but when you switch constantly, you start to mask that value too because people don't really know you for what you do
Hmm.
and you don't know yourself for what you do. Um, the only time you had mentioned onboarding to me was like the very first like message you sent, and
I
then I
think it's what I
had
pitched to you. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and then you hadn't sent anything about onboarding pretty much since then, right? But and that's what happens, right? Things distract us, and what I've always communicated is like if the enemy cannot destroy you, he's going to distract you.
Hmm.
Let's say that onboarding is the thing that you're going to like really really sell, but you've been distracted and moving away from it all this time. That's time that you're wasting not building that dream, that vision,
Hmm.
right? And so for the next 6 months, if you say anything about anything other than onboarding, just pretend that I'm there like slapping you around, right?
Hey,
Um,
you follow me on Instagram. You could actually be there slapping me around.
I will. I'm gonna be like, this is nothing to do with onboarding.
Not in the
But
comments. Do not do it publicly.
but but yes, like if you commit to it, because that's what I did. Like once I committed to, and I literally, I kid you not, I told myself this. I'm gonna focus on helping people with messaging for 1 year. It's literally what I
Hmm.
told myself. And time works differently now. Like I look back to months and months and months ago, and it feels like years ago. Just last month, or just like last week, I saw a conversation I was having with someone, and the conversation was on July 9th. And the stuff I talked to him about, I was like, that seems like so far ago. Like, I am so far past this now. I have made so much progress since then. But it's literally because, like, I'm on one clear path, and every single thing that I'm doing is on that one path. So my progress is like exponential now. I'm
Hmm.
not splitting my progress anywhere. It's like I'm building one major thing.
Hmm.
And that is my spiel.
It's a good spiel. Do we have time for questions? I know we already kind of went
No,
over
yeah,
it.
no, yeah. Ask me some questions.
So I guess my thing is like, great. I I get the message.
Mhm.
First, on the message though, my niche is small to mid-sized businesses that rely on tech but don't know how to use it efficiently. Is there a way to condense that so it fits into a sentence? I help blank with onboarding. Because if you fit that into the blank, that's a long sentence.
Yeah. I'm just
That's why I
thinking.
was picking industries because they were like one or two words. It was pretty easy to say. I help event
Mhm.
planners.
Yeah. Um, honestly, for now, you can literally just say, um, I help medium-sized companies who rely on tech.
Cool.
But
That works for me.
yeah, and then just add um builds like onboarding systems or something that blah 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 that save them time or whatever it is. Um, also think about like the more specific you are, the better. So if you know in your heart that these medium-sized companies are spending, let's say, 20 hours a week on just onboarding, you can say something like, um, I help medium-sized companies who rely on tech uh, build onboarding systems that save them 20 hours or more a week.
And I'll be able to do that more as I work with the. I don't necessarily have to know that right now.
Exactly. But it's just a matter of like be specific.
Hmm.
Even if you start with what I just said, build I help medium-sized companies who rely on tech build onboarding systems. That's it. It doesn't have to be
Yep.
anything more than that. But as you go, you will find more refinement in that
Mhm.
clarity.
Ever evolving, yeah.
Hmm.
So, what would you say, like now, in a few weeks when I begin doing this full time, like, what do I need to do? Because it's one thing to say, okay, well, my message is that I help mid-sized companies that rely on tech with onboarding. Then at some point, I have to wake up in the morning, sit down at my computer, and do a thing.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, well, how do I can scream that into the void all day long, but
Yeah.
I have to actually find the mid-sized companies that rely on tech to get and the people who own those mid-sized companies for that to matter.
Yeah. So here's how I structure my day. I think that might help. Um, every single day, I wake up. I walk my dog every morning for like 10 minutes. Um, right after that, I always do my devotional, read the Bible for 15 minutes. I always do that first because it's like I'm building the spiritual
Hmm.
me. Then after that, then I start working. Something that I'm doing lately, I just started this yesterday. So I can actually no, I started today actually. I learned it yesterday and I'm doing it starting today. The first thing that I did after reading my Bible, instead of jumping into work right away, it's I'm going to spend some time learning. So I'm going to spend 20, 30 minutes reading, watching the trainings that I've been putting off so that I'm actually informing and putting myself, first.
Hmm.
Then what I do is I start to reach out to people or to respond to the conversations that I've been having with people. Then after that, then I start to work on my content and I'm putting content out.
Hmm.
So I spend a majority of my morning literally just like focusing on lead generation. Um, whether I'm talking to people, responding, reaching out, or putting my content out there, commenting, because then I'm putting a lot of my effort into what actually works, which is actually talking to people,
Hmm.
right? Um, what's going to help you? It's one, you know your path already. You're going to stick to this path, but now you have to build your capacity. Like you have to build you because there's a reason why you kept switching. There's a reason why you kept resetting. There's something in your mindset and internally that you have to address because if you don't, it's going to always bring you back down. And so I suggest that the first thing you should do, and it doesn't have to be a long time, it could literally be like 30 minutes, is just build yourself. Like read the Bible if that's something that you do, meditate, walk, whatever it is, read
Hmm.
books, watch trainings, like spend the time to actually focus on the mindset aspect of it and then learning the skills and then spend time actually reaching out to people.
Hmm.
Um, because it can be very easy to, one, you'll notice this right away. You spend all this time trying to reach people and then you get tired and it's just like you're less likely to like want to read or to build yourself. So it should be first and then you spend the time working on people. Um Make it fun. When I first started, um I like was working nonstop. I would wake up at 6:30. By like 7:30 I was at like working, and I would work until like 7, 8, sometimes 9, just literally nonstop working. Sometimes I wouldn't eat. I was just not enjoying it. One of the biggest shifts that I made was actually made it enjoyable for me.
Hmm.
So my schedule is set up to where by 12 I eat, and then from 1 to 2 I don't really do any work. I like play video games or I watch a movie or I go swimming with my wife or like I make music. Like I literally just like enjoy myself and then I get to
Yeah.
work again. So you don't want to make this into like everything, because while it seems logical to make it everything and put every single hour into making this grow, it will actually be the very thing that burns you out and slows your progress.
Yeah, I'm trying to strike the balance because obviously it can't be all play either. I think what
Yeah.
I'll do for me is instead of it being time based, like I'll take a lunch break, but instead of it being time based, be like, okay, I need to do cold outreach. I need to send 30 cold messages or whatever. Once I hit 30, whether that's at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I get to go do whatever. That will
Yeah.
motivate me to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
what I
would.
struggle with is I don't know how to find the people. Like Alex
Yeah.
Hormozy has a whole thing where he's like, you need to send 100 emails a day. I'm like, see, sending
Yeah.
100 emails a day isn't the problem.
It's
Getting
finding.
100 emails every single day to send to is the problem.
Yeah. It's definitely a learning game. Um, there are different communities out there. Because you're just focusing on medium-sized companies, now it changes a little bit, because think about like what types of companies. Are they online businesses? Are they like in-person businesses? And then you can start looking for that. You already
Hmm.
mentioned like event planners and all these things. There are communities for that on Facebook. And again, you're
Hmm.
not just looking for like that specific category, but you're looking for, okay, who are the people that need this and are struggling with this? Now, in every community you join, you should ask questions, right?
Hmm.
For example, um, is there anyone who, every time you get done with the sales call, you spend an hour onboarding them as a client? Like you're asking questions like that because then people can start to comment and have a conversation about that. So
Hmm.
when you get in communities, it's about asking the right question so that people are able to raise their hand. Does
Okay.
that make sense?
And then I like DM them if they're like, oh my God, this is horrible. I just
Yeah.
send them a DM that's like, dude, I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
first, comment first, like respond to their comment, like,
mhm.
hey, like I understand that, like I've been there and blah, blah, blah. And like you're acknowledging them, and then you can send them a DM, or you can even just ask them, like, hey, we can connect and we can talk about this a little further. And then
Mhm.
boom, you go to the DMs, and then that's where you can qualify them a little bit better, and then from there you can, you know, get them on a call. Um,
And, I don't want to sound like I'm shotgun approaching, switching all over the place, but right now I have no clients, therefore nothing to build, and therefore my only mission is to get clients. And so I'm going to spend 10 hours a day working on that. Should I spend? All right, so for a few hours, all I'm doing is emailing people. Then for a few hours, all I'm doing is social media. Do
mhm.
all that, then I'll spend a couple hours going to businesses. I know
Yeah,
that sounds like a shotgun approach, but until one of them proves to work better than the others,
I would. Well, first pick one platform
mhm,
and then pick the strategies from there. Because for example, Instagram, finding people on Instagram is a little bit different than finding Facebook groups or LinkedIn
mhm,
groups. And so pick one platform and then start finding those communities. know your people, like what they're kind of doing, if they're
Hmm.
posting a lot or whatever, because sometimes your strategy can just be commenting and engaging with people. That's what
Hmm.
I did for a while. I was just like going on different comments and literally just like talking to people, giving them some value, and then connecting with them in the DMs. So commenting should be one of like your top strategies. If you can do
Hmm.
that first, that will be best because you're literally speaking to someone a lot
Yeah.
faster than waiting for an email. So do the action that puts you in front of people the fastest first, and then do like the cold emails and the cold messages. But first, you want to, okay, let me just talk to the people already having these conversations here. Um,
Gotcha.
you can also look up, like, for example, if you put in onboarding on Facebook in the search or even on
Hmm.
LinkedIn, it might show you people who are already talking about onboarding, and you can
Yeah.
see the comments and you can see who's already engaging with that, and then just find those people and connect with them.
Hmm.
But you want to start building a community of these people. So as you find people in your niche that seem like they want onboarding help, send them a friend request and just start sending friend requests and adding these people so that
Hmm.
whenever you post content, you have some people that can engage with that and start to build that traction as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna rethink social media. LinkedIn was not an option to me until yesterday
Mm-hmm.
because my company that I work for watches us like a hawk on LinkedIn, so I didn't really want them to know what I was doing. But
Yeah.
now, obviously, they know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
so LinkedIn suddenly is available. But yeah, I'll have to think through that. The hard part's gonna be, if I have to post every day, I help with onboarding. It's kind of hard to make a unique post for that every single day.
I disagree with that because you're focusing on all the pain points and telling them like showing them who you are and how you can help them. So I don't know if you see my content. I post stories, I give value. Sometimes I'm like very opinionated. Um, Sometimes I post about what my clients are doing, right? But every single post always in some way goes back to messaging. So for you, let people know one more about you. Like they need to see you as human. So tell stories. Are there any stories that have to do with onboarding? For example, if I saw a video of you geeking out and being so excited about what you did on Notion and how cool that was, I'm going to watch that. And
Mhm.
if I think it's cool, my first question is going to be like, how did you do that? Right? So it's literally just like show up as yourself, talk about this onboarding thing, how it excites you, talk about how people are currently wasting time and like blah blah blah. It seems like
Mhm.
it might be repetitive, but if I were to ask you, can you tell me what post I talked about last week? More than likely, you're not going to remember everything I talked about last week, right? And I post all the time and I talk about the same things pretty much over and over again, and people still forget. And that's just because of our attention span. So,
You can basically just make yourself like a 10-day loop.
yeah, and I tell different stories, but at the end of the day, it always goes back to messaging. And there's sometimes where I talked about the same steps, just in different ways. And
Mhm.
so, what you want is you want people to start having that resonance of like, they need to know who you are and they need to see that in your content. And so, the more
Mhm.
you show up with that message, the more of that signal you're sending out, the more votes you're putting into this specific thing.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I told this to one of my clients before because she was like, I feel like I'm gonna be repetitive. And I said, I promise you it's not gonna feel that way. She started doing it, and then now people are like commenting all the time. They're like sharing her posts, her community is growing, and it literally just was because she like stuck to her message and then just kept showing up with the same message. Um,
Yeah, and whatever I go with, I'll share it with you, and I don't expect you to like sit there and watch my socials like a hawk, but if you notice anything weird, I'm sure you'll tell me.
Yeah, no, and I followed you and then I added the notifications as well, just so that I
Mhm.
can keep up as well. So I will be paying attention. I don't go on Instagram as much if that's what you're gonna choose. But I will be keeping my eye out for whatever you put out. Just
Yeah,
because
I'll
like
let.
again, which
Mhm.
yeah, just because like I said, like I'm part of the journey now. I'm invested. So
Do you like the branding, by the way? The colors, the logo, the general aesthetic?
Let me go back to it. And
The
this what
idea is that since I help your business grow, I kind of went with green, a tree.
hmm
I initially started with like wiry, tech, modern, sleek, and then I'm like, this is what every tech company does. I'm doing something
yeah.
weird, different.
Yeah, this looks very templated. Like, do you use Canva for this?
Yeah.
Okay, I can tell. I use Canva a lot. But base pretty much like don't think about what I would like. Think about like what does your person need? Like what do they like? Different colors have different impacts. Even like the different shades of green have a different impact too. So it's just a matter of like deciding on, is this getting my person to actually see what I do? What I do suggest, it's pick like three, because I think the colors all work together. Pick like three different templates for your post and then
Hmm.
just keep rotating through them.
Hmm.
Um, that way you can, just get something different. But if you keep the colors the same, it will start to build your brand. I do suggest take the posts off that have nothing to do with onboarding.
Right. Just reset it. This is our last reset,
Yeah,
but it is technically a reset.
yeah. This is your last reset, but from now on, start to build that brand. Um,
And no more resets, but we can refine. If we get a little
ex-
ways in and we're like, okay, these posts are not hitting, we can be like, well, here's why. Do this from now on.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And then for reels, there's not much like you can either post like you literally talking in something, but for a reel, you can also just put the same pictures you're posting. You can put them as reels too.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew that. Yeah, you can just when you click on the little button to add it, at the
Mm.
bottom just scroll to reel and then it'll open up your pictures and then just click on that. You can add sounds, keep adding the descriptions, keep adding um the hashtags.
Hmm.
But you'll start seeing like at first you might not get a lot of views. Like you might get 100, 200, you might get no likes. But with consistency, it starts to build and people will start to engage with you eventually. But you just have to again stick with it.
Because
But
it's
then
like at first Instagram doesn't know who to show me to, right? That's the
ex-
problem.
exactly. But always remember, go to where your clients are. So if it is Instagram, stick to that.
Hmm.
But if it's not, do the platform that your clients are in primarily. That should be your primary focus. Get really good at
Hmm.
that. And then if you want to do the others, then you can, but it shouldn't be like more than like 10% of your time. It should just
Right.
be like something very quick.
Well, I mean, what I see even people like Alex Hormozy do, what does he do? He takes a screenshot of an Instagram post or one of his Twitter posts and then just posts that screenshot on the other ones.
No, literally. And I've done that too. I've literally like recorded a video, I transcribed it, took the transcript, and then boom, posted it somewhere else.
Yeah, so I mean, I
But
could do something like that, but I mean, like you're right. Like mid-sized business owners are probably not on Instagram because they're not young enough, which honestly is probably true of all social media, but Instagram especially.
yeah, and so that's why like when you really know your person, you start to think like them and you start to think about, okay, where am I gonna be? Like where am I gonna be spending my time? And once you know that, it's easier to find them.
Yeah.
So that's how you should be thinking about it. It's like literally like, okay, my person, where are they gonna be? Instead of let me go on this platform and this platform and this platform, it's I know they're on this platform. So then all your effort is finding them on that one platform instead of finding them on three different platforms at the same time.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I do have another call right now, so I do have to get off.
Yeah, my lunch break is over.
Sorry about that. But I will send you this in the recording when I get a chance. I do have this
Mhm.
call. Um,
You
but
need an onboarding.
honestly, like if you do need like more testimonials and stuff, I can see where I might need some stuff.
Mhm.
Just because actually like I am building an event. So the meeting that I'm having right now, we're building an event. We're doing a 3-day challenge on messaging and branding. And onboarding is one of the systems we're building. So
There
if
you
you
go.
want, if you wanted some testimonials, you could get that from both of us. And if we make money, I can also say, hey, like Tyler helped me set up systems that helped me make money, which will also be just like a good testimonial for you too.
Hmm.
Um, but I will talk to her about that too, and then I can let you know what we think about that, and then you let me know if
Alrighty.
that's something you're interested in too.
Yeah, sure. Sounds good, man.
All right, cool. Um, but it's been great. Keep me updated, and I'm excited to see where you go, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, enjoy the rest of your
Bye.
day.
You too. Bye.